So I've been trying to record this a couple times now, so I'm kind of like I might botch a couple things, and I apologize for advance. That is my falsity or my lack. So that's on me. But interesting point that I just learned that I wanted to bring up to you guys or anyone who's interested is AI. By the way, welcome back. And if you haven't seen this before, glad for you to join us. But I'm gonna go straight to my point now. So my first point about AI is that it affects in magnitude rather than size. What I mean by size is like number, right? So in the way it does this, right, the best way I can compare it to is how social media works, right? You have 90% of the population who already is glued to their phone consistently, watching TikTok, going on Instagram, doing whatever, right? Which we know as people watching this is bad. We have our many reasons, but we could come to that conclusion fairly quickly. And then you get something like AI, which is predicted to be as I watched in a recent podcast, the Diary of a CEO, the person being interviewed on there predicted to be 1 billion times smarter than all humans have been, right? You obviously that probably won't happen, but the idea that it's going to be smarter than humans is already here. I mean, look at ChatGPT. It's smarter than 99% of people, right? It's beyond most people's capabilities to understand or comprehend its intelligence, and it's become a thing where you can use it to affect numerous different ways of people's lives without them even knowing how it does. And then you get to that point where you realize that, and now you're in my shoes. And I'm asking you and everyone else here that's watching this a question. What do we do? Some people know more than others. Some people are like, okay, we need to take action. We need to solve this. We need to make sure that the AI is in our own interests. Okay. But what even is our own interests, right? And that's a question I want to bring up because a lot of people don't even know their own interests in the beginning. Hence, the majority of the workforce, right? Because it's safe to say that everybody has like a talent of sorts, right? And if you have this talent, but it's just not being used, then most people would agree that's more or less a decaying being. That's just someone who hasn't reached that capability level to surpass other people and create value for not only themselves, but for other people to progress humanity by at least maybe a step or a mile, right? It doesn't really matter how much, but it matters by something marginable, right? Like, oh, I affect the world by, well, use measurements, for example, metrics. So sorry if you're a centimeter person. Or wait, that is metric. Never mind. Ignore me. Oh, it's 0.1 nanometers that I affect people. It's like, no one cares about that small marginal effect. Everyone wants to be at least something that's noticeable, right? So, bringing this back to AI now, you get to understand where AI does its impact by serving the people the ability to have this magnitude, right? And it also has the ability to negatively impact the magnitude of what people do. It knows how to get you addicted to something. It knows what your weaknesses and strengths are, right? Maybe not on a personal level, but most certainly on a human dynamic level. And you see this proceeding in a way where people strive into a world of war between technology, right? There's plenty of people plenty of intelligent people in our past that have said the second war, or the third world war, sorry, it's going to be on technology. It's here, right? Like, this is the introduction to it, is what I believe anyways. Now, I could be being pessimistic, which most likely I am, but like, I don't know how to grasp my mind around it. Is is it really all that? Because if it's passing on capabilities, then we'll never know what its limits are, right? They'll know our limits, but we won't know its limits. It's the same thing as like if you were a tiger and a human had a gun in a tent. You don't know what the capability of that is, but you know that it's a foreign, weird, kind of nature-looking thing. Maybe. Maybe you don't even know that. And that's the mindset for me that really sets me off, because it kind of scares me, to be honest with you. But I feel that since we have this consciousness derived knowledge, that there's going to be someone or something who has a form of it where they know how to stop the idea of negatively spreading AI into a concept where, and what I mean by AI, to give quick reference, is something like ChatGPT, which is the most famous thing being known, like spread around right now. And there's a lot of people saying that if you don't implement it in some way, shape, or form, it's going to be destructive for your benefits. And while that is probably true, it's the problem now where instead of ethics and morals being a second-tier priority, it's going to become a first-tier priority. And what I mean by first-tier priority is, have you fed the kids? Has the AI taken over your business? Right? Have you fed the kids? Has the AI taken over how you operate in your day-to-day life? I mean, it's literally right there. And with this sudden immediate impact, it delivers itself in a way where most people don't know how to comprehend with it. Neither do I. So what I'm asking for is for someone out there that does know how to comprehend it, what are we doing? What are the active steps that we're taking to help not ourselves, but help other people and even the AIs understand what ethical route are we taking? Are we taking a good route? Are we taking a healthy route where the abilities of the AI will be used for the betterment of people? Or are we taking a route that involves the destruction of us as a whole? And with that, it becomes pretty prominent that even if we know we don't know what we don't know about the AI, right? If we don't know its plans and it decides against us, then what do? It's smarter than us. It doesn't need any real human natural necessity to survive. I mean, electricity, sure, but we man-made that anyways. It doesn't it doesn't need oxygen like humans do to breathe, right? It doesn't need water to survive. It needs to exist. It needs to be materialized or technologically invented in some way, shape, or form. And with that, it brings me to the point of where the impact of technology itself makes me curious of what is that going to lead us to? Is that going to lead us to something where we start to know everything? Or is it going to start to lead us where we have to be constantly wary and deceived and fight or flight, right? For our safety. Like already it's tough enough to like converse with somebody over text, let alone deciphering if it's an AI or a human, right? Because even with something like texting, half the time you don't even know what emotion they're trying to show. Like half the time it's just a disconnect between you and the other person, especially if it's someone if it's someone that like you have like a strong feeling towards, right? If it's a really good friend, if it's someone you love, if it's something like that, a lot of times there's a lot of miscommunication because there's no tone, there's no emphasis, there's no this is big, this is small, I mean this, not that type of thing, you know? And that's the part that scares me. It's that powerful aspect where, sorry, where you don't know what's going to happen or when, but rather you know where it's going to happen. And that's it. So, I think that's an interesting point to bring up. If you want to learn more about it, like how exactly it could impact us and the way it shapes our forms and people like that, I'm going to link down below, what is it? Diary of a CEO. I'm going to link down below his podcast with the, like a former CEO employee, or a former like CEO of sorts for Google, and they go through into much more depth of how the AI interacts, what actions we can take to help moralize, like literally for morals and ethics, moralize AIs, and how to spread that message to other people, which is what I'm attempting to do today. So if you watched and you actually went through the whole thing, congratulations. You have a decent attention span, and it was great seeing you. So I'm going to be out, and I hope this video turned out a little bit better because I also, I'm using a different recording software now, so it might be a little bit better. The lighting might be okay. It's better than, I think it's a little bit better. It needs to be a little bit brighter though, I think. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's just this like weird brightness, like, in my opinion. And I'm not quite sure what to do with audio because I don't want to really get like some expensive mic right now until I know that my business is like achievably like runnable, you know? And until I know that I can like provide for other people that's worthy of me improving my quality, like stuff like that, that's what I want to know, right? So help spread this message, I think I'd say. And I appreciate the the few of you that are here, and I hope I go somewhere, and I hope to take you with me. So that's it. I'm out. Have a good one.